And he jumped without any of us thinking that he was going to attempt, and he landed it.
Nice audition.
Thank you.
Kyle. What's your real name?
Kyle?
No, what's your real name?
Still Kyle.
Ah, come on. I'm not immigration. What name were you born with?
Kyle?
Are you sure you don't have a name like Chang?
Chang is a Chinese name.
Oh, so you speak Chinese?
No, I speak a little Spanish, though.
Thank you.
We've come a long, long way. I'm not afraid any longer. We've come a long, long way. Our love is getting stronger. We've come a long, long way, and the future's looking brighter. We've come a long, long way. Our love is so much tighter.
In the car again. Today that we're filming this is November 21st, day before Thanksgiving, and we couldn't think of anything more clever to do while driving up to visit family. Stop off at every Starbucks between here, Sherman Oaks, and up there, Northern California. She's driving. But we're gonna make our first stop at our first Starbucks for the day. The one that we normally go to, our local one in Sherman Oaks. Black tea lemonade. And for my second drink, I have a mocha. So, why are we doing this? Number one, it's the busiest travel day of the year, and it helps us deal with the a-hole drivers that are surrounding us on this very boring stretch of road. Two, it is a boring stretch of road. It's 350 miles, 6-7 hours of just driving aimlessly. It's something to do. Third and most prevalent, we saw a movie back in 2008. We rented a movie called Starbucking. It was a documentary about a guy with OCD, that he had some money. He would travel to every Starbucks back in 2006. He wanted to visit every Starbucks at that moment in the United States, so he would literally drive from one to another, to another, to another, sometimes driving 7, 10, 12 Starbucks a day, and document them on this one strange documentary. Anyway, Debbie and I just said, what the hey, let's try to just see what every Starbucks between here, between Los Angeles and my parents' house we can find. And this way we don't have to just stare at the agriculture all day.
Busy, huh?
I have my third Starbucks of the day in my hand. This one is another black tea lemonade, and we are in the Central Valley area of Buttonwillow. If you've never heard of Buttonwillow, yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
My grandparents had their honeymoon here. That's what I heard. My mom told me.
Where?
I don't know where. Not here. Somewhere in Buttonwillow.
At the closed Denny's? I'm getting sick of Starbucks. So is my bladder. Our guest tonight, you may not recognize from his face, but his voice may sound familiar, even though he has had appearances on The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien.
That's right.
And also Bajillion Dollar Properties. And many movies well, a handful of movies, and also some video game franchise called Tomb Raider.
There's that, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Earl Baylon is joining us today.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Thanks for having me, man.
It's an honor because I will say, Earl, you're one of the nicest guys on the planet. I call you the gentle giant because you could be so imposing, you could be so massive, and yet
Right.
you are such a gentle person. I guess that goes within your personality.
Yeah, man. Thanks for pointing that out. I mean, life is very chill to me. I try to stay chill with everybody.
Well, you grew up in L.A.
Parents moved to Long Beach when I was a little under 2 years old.
Okay.
So I mean, Long Beach is pretty much all I've known in terms of where I've lived.
But you were a nerd before it became trendy.
I guess, yeah. Before it became cool, before geek chic was a thing. Mm-hmm. It's weird because like you never really understand what you never labeled. At least I never labeled it as being geeky really until everybody's pointed it out. Mm-hmm. And I was just me being me, and I was like, oh, is that geeky? I'm sorry.
Where did the acting come in, and how does that deal? Did that encourage your geekness, or vice versa?
I wouldn't say the acting started in grade school. I went to a grade school, an elementary school that was Catholic, and about 80% Filipino at the time. And if you know Filipinos, they love like their song and dance. Mm-hmm. Like it's a cultural thing, and so we had a lot of that growing up, like especially during Christmas time, Christmas pageants and all that. I did my first musical when I was 12 at that school at St. Lucie, and everything. I ever since then it's just been. I've done acting in some capacity.
What about UCI? That's where you started doing improv.
UC Irvine, I was there for pre-med, so I kind of acting took back burner. I mean, I still did it extracurricularly, but I was kind of focused on becoming a doctor, or at least my parents made me, but I kept on acting, doing Filipino cultural nights. Mm-hmm. So Filipino cultural night is a big variety show, right? And there's dances, and they tie the entire thing together with like acting, like a portion. They call it skit. And basically, it's a play that like glues everything together in the PCN. And I did that for 5 years. Okay. So I did that every year. The year after my last year at college, I actually wrote and directed the PCN, and that's where the improv came in. Mm-hmm. And so I was already a year out of college, and I was working in the lab. And my parents, after a while, I left the lab, and then my parents didn't want to push, but they asked me eventually, they're like, oh, aren't you going to finish your medical degree? Are you going to medical school? I'm like, kinda, I'm just gonna take a break. And then I just never. To this day, my dad, whenever I see him, he will bring it up. So, and it's always, so what happened to your schooling, huh? And I'm just like, oh man, Dad, I'm an actor.
So you started cutting your teeth on acting, and one of the projects, the first one I want to ask you about is this one.
Lumpia with a Vengeance. Okay.
This is a project that you were telling me that you just finished wrapping, but it's still in post-production. This was something that you got interested to, and you're actually an associate producer.
Lumpia with Vengeance, which is a film that's a sequel to our director, Patricio De Nelsa. He wrote and filmed a feature film, a home movie, with the kids in his neighborhood in Daly City back in the 90s. And then they cut it together finally in the beginning of the 2000s, like early 2000s, and released it as Lumpia. They did a college tour, and it got a pretty good response.
Yeah, a cult following almost.
Cult following, yeah, I'd say that. I'd say that's a good way to describe it. So, I was actually working with Patricio on a different project, and one day we were talking about the project, and he was like, "Hey, me and my writing partner Justin Keyson, he was we were at his house, and he was like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna make a sequel to Lumpia, and I want you guys on board." It's an action comedy,
Yeah.
kind of like Kung Fu Hustle, Shaolin Soccer. It's kind of in that vein. And the protagonist of the movie, his name is Kuya. He uses lumpia, like Filipino spring rolls, like ninja stars. My improv troupe, Room to Improv. This was started in 2002 by a man, Elvin Lubrin, and I joined in 2005. So I've been with the troupe for about 12 years.
Because a lot of famous people have come out of that troupe.
Yeah, a few people of note have come out of.
Yeah, Jason Kyson Lee, who was on Heroes.
James Kyson, Lee. Was on Heroes.
Leslie Ann Huff,
Yep,
who was
Leslie Ann
on
Huff.
Greek and made appearance on Chuck.
Vampire Diaries.
Vampire Diaries, of course, yes.
She was Reina.
And Mark, I can't pronounce his last name.
Macalintal?
Thank you.
All right.
He was now the music director over at East West Players.
Yeah. Music director, East
So
Players.
it's a very accomplished group.
Yeah, I never thought about it before, but yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Well, you're now the artistic director.
Right. Yeah, I'm now the artistic director. So
How's that working for you?
it was definitely a lot of. It was a growing experience. A lot of things I had to learn like on the fly. It was kind of trial by fire, but it. I think I've gotten the hang of it now after 6 years or so.
What's the importance of improv to acting, your opinion?
My opinion, whenever I'm taking notes, or whenever the director's making adjustments, and it's really then that because it's easy for me to like pop into an emotion because we're so used to it with being an improviser. You're sitting there and you're supposed to be fluid the entire time. You're reacting to everything, and nothing is set. And that's so you have the opportunity to change emotions, change mental states, like at the drop of the drop of the hat. And I think that behooves you, especially when you're on set, because I mean you might have a shooting draft of a script, but on the day, things change.
Yes.
Things change like this, and I could see where if you have little to no improv training, you might still be able to catch up with that, but improv training definitely makes it 100% easier.
Room to Improv has done just recently performed with the diversity.
This is their third year running it, but they do a diversity and comedy festival. It's called LADCF, so Los Angeles Diversity and Comedy Festival, put on by Second City. And I mean, it's what it sounds like. They get a whole bunch of improvisers from around the city, or even remote troops.
The fact that this is an Asian improv group,
Right.
that seems to be an underscore, but really there's no difference between an Asian improv group and an improv group.
I'm not going to speak for every other Asian improv group, but Room to Improv, we kind of have it as a policy to not rely on your Asianness for the jokes. Because, I mean, that's easy, right? I mean, that's what everybody expects.
Yeah.
Oh, do a funny accent and all that stuff. And we try to stray very far away from. We want to bring about, our comedy from common experiences.
What about acting in general? Do you find that you're typecast because you're Asian?
I wouldn't say that. I don't get all the Asian calls, or like the traditional like East Asian calls.
Yeah.
I don't get called for the Chinatown episodes. I get called for all the Hawaii episodes.
Yeah.
And I get called for all the bouncer stuff.
Okay. Do you think that it's becoming less of that Asians are starting to blur and we're just becoming regular actors finally?
I think it's getting closer because I will say that I've been working in the industry for 10 years now, and if I compare the stuff that I saw in Actors Access 10 years ago to the stuff that I see now for Asians, it's a lot more diversified because literally 10 years ago, and this is this isn't hyperbole. I would look through the breakdowns and I would see Asian martial arts master, Asian masseuse, Asian computer expert, and it was that just over and over again. I think it's not even that it's, and you know, I haven't looked at breakdowns in a little bit, but I think that it's not only that people are writing more roles that for Asians, it's also that people are writing roles and taking Asians into consideration, or you know, it's also casting.
Exactly.
Right? They're looking at roles and they're saying this could go to like somebody who's multi-ethnic or Asian or something. You know, it doesn't always have to be a white dude.
But at the same time, we're not above going on Hawaii Five-0.
Oh no, never.
Okay. I think it's time I need to start asking
Okay.
you about this.
Scary. Oh yeah, Jonah Maiava.
Okay. You have been, I don't know if I want to call it a reboot since 2013 or the
Yeah.
next generation of Tomb Raider.
Most people refer to it as the reboot,
Okay.
the Tomb Raider reboot. So, or the Survivor era
Okay.
of Tomb Raider. So, yeah,
You play Jonah Maiava. Maiava?
yeah.
Okay. Jonah Maiava. And you have been in the original reboot Tomb Raider,
Right.
Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadows of the Tomb Raider, which just
Yeah.
came out recently.
Yeah, September 14th.
Between these three games, they have sold close to 25 million units.
Right. Wow.
Do you get $1 per?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, we're working on the interactive contracting, and it's a new area. You know, nobody knew how to deal with it, especially not 7 years ago.
Yes.
So we're working on an old contract. There are no residuals. So I mean, there's kind of a bonus payment structure right now, but like, no. In the short answer, I don't. There's no profit sharing here.
Is it difficult to go from such a, because I know you are a physical actor, to go to such a
Right.
straight voiceover actor?
I also do the motion capture for all three of the games. It's like a black Velcro suit,
Okay.
and then there are little markers.
Okay.
They're basically little balls wrapped in reflective tape that they put all over the suit. So I still get to do the movement. We still get to live in the space, albeit in a giant volume with nothing in it. That is the majority of the, I want to say, like the emotional acting that takes place in that, or anything that needs, will rely on blocking or a lot of back and forth. That takes place in the motion capture volume, but I still do a good amount of work in the booth. So it's I get to do a little bit of both.
Tell me about Jonah. He always seems like he is I'll call him the Sala from Indiana Jones. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
He seems like that to Lara Croft. Would you consider that? I mean, it seems like sometimes there might be a little bit romantic tension between the two, but it never goes that far.
I mean, this question always comes up, and I can say, at least for my own part, in my head, whenever I'm acting, that is never part of my headcanon.
Okay.
So it's never been that Lara and Jonah are a romantic thing. It's always been this kind of best friends, like brother and sister kind of thing. So
I don't want you to give away anything from the third game, but is there a fourth game? Question mark?
I can say with absolute confidence that I have no idea. So I literally, whenever I get, this is how I find out that a new Tomb Raider game is happening. I get a call from my agent, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to work on the next game?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." And that's how I find out.
You've been heralded over at Comic-Con and other cons because you are the voice of this iconic, I'll call him hero.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with that famousness?
I don't know if I'd call myself famous. I do appreciate like all the the outpouring of like support that like fans of the game have bestowed upon me, and bestowed upon Camilla and the game. Everybody is so sweet and so awesome, and it's been one of the greatest things so far. I mean, that I've ever experienced, really.
You haven't met any of the creepy fans yet, have you?
I don't think no, not that I know of.
You struggled through acting, so trying to find a job here and there.
Oh yeah,
How do you get through that?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just like, you know, like all the however many actors are in LA now, 100,000
At least.
Yeah, I don't know how many.
Well, how many people are actually working versus how many people call themselves actors?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, at least for me, the key has been in whenever it's quiet, because I mean, this industry is all about feast and famine. You know?
Yeah.
Whenever it's quiet, it's all about creating your own work.
Okay.
And for me, that doesn't even mean necessarily like writing my own stuff, although it is. Also, I mean, although it is that sometimes, it's also just keeping busy with the improv troupe. And before I was doing sketch, so I was doing that like constantly. And and doing things like Lumpia, you know, finding other people to work with and create projects. So I mean, that's helped me immensely. But financially, is that what you're talking about?
Well, not just financially, but it's also
Right.
the emotional spirit, because sometimes
Yeah.
you just don't want to admit you're an actor because, yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Much
know.
like your father was saying, yes.
yeah. He doesn't understand. It's still, in the end, as long as I'm performing in some capacity, it helps me get along.
Okay.
So,
You create your own project. It's your dream job.
Right.
What is it?
my own project.
The one that has Earl Baylon shooting across the sky in big letters.
I've always wanted to do, a few things. I always say, I want to be in a movie where somebody puts me in a loincloth and hands me a battle axe.
Okay.
I want to do a barbarian movie, man. Like, cause I'm from that, dude.
Yeah.
80s, like, sword and sorcery, Conan the Barbarian, Dragon Slayer, Red Sonja, Crow. So, I mean, I want
to get
make
over the
one of
loincloth
those.
here.
Yeah,
So-
man, loincloth. I would, of course, have to slim down because nobody wants to see that. Not even me. Not even me.
So you want to do the next? You ever thought of sitcoms, television?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that. I think, in the end, when it comes down to it, like, what I do is mostly comedy. You know,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I do sketch and I do improv, and that's the majority of the kind of work I get. Even Lumpia is an action comedy. Mm-hmm. It just so happens I was cast in this very serious kind of game, so, which I'm glad, still, I'm still able to do that, and it still comes through well. So I mean,
And you still are enjoying acting, no matter if it's under the terms of voiceover, in terms of motion capture, or just on camera.
yeah, dude, I want to tell and I want to create stories. That's all I've ever wanted to do.
Okay. I've created for you a Tomb Raider quiz.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. I
I'm
want.
not gonna fail.
I
Not
just
too
want to see
bad.
how many of these you can get.
Sure.
No,
Yeah.
you can't, you're not allowed to look at these.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
10 questions about Tomb Raider. Let's see how many we can get right.
Got it. What?
What are the names of Lara Croft's parents?
Richard and Amanda.
Lord Richard, Lady Amelia.
Amelia, sorry. Amanda. Sorry.
What is the name of the family butler?
Winston.
Very good.
Haha.
Lara's-
Winston.
Lara's father and mother are... Well, I believe Lara's mother dies, right?
Right. And at least in the yes,
Storyline, yeah.
in the current Survivor timeline, they're dead. Yeah.
And Lara's father, Richard, finds a new girlfriend. What's her name?
Anna.
Very good.
See, I know all the stuff where I had a script for it.
Where was Jonah raised?
New Zealand.
No.
Oh, sorry. He was born in New Zealand, raised in Hawaii
Very
by his
good.
maternal grandmother.
Jonah's brother and sister currently don't have a name in their current incarnations.
No
but,
names.
But there is a cousin.
His cousin Eli. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. 3 hobbies of Jonah.
3 hobbies. Ooh. He does theater, he cooks, and what's the third one?
Survival skill.
Survival skill. He makes fires.
Yes, he's a pyro.
What is
Fishing.
Fishing. All right.
Yes. Okay.
You take a firm grip
Okay.
and you slice him down the belly like this.
The first time Jonah saves Lara's life is on a ship.
Right.
How did she recognize him?
It is probably because the bracelets that he wears.
Wow, I didn't think you were gonna get that one.
If you watch the opening cinematic
From
to
2013.
2013, Lara makes his jump, and the first person to save her life in the entire trilogy is Jonah. He catches her. You don't see him. You don't see his face, but it's Jonah because of the bracelets.
Your co-star Lara is played by Camilla Luddington, who's on Grey's Anatomy.
Right.
And I guess you worked with her a few times?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Many
So
times,
that
too.
means you probably know her baby's name. Her real life baby's name.
Hayden.
Wow. I'm really trying to find these ones that were going to throw you. Okay, in the 2001 movie, who played her father? I'm sorry. Yes, 2001 movie, who played her father?
2001 movie. This is the Angelina Jolie stuff.
Uh-huh.
John Voight.
Way too easy. Okay, this
Right?
movie...
Her actual father. Okay, let's make sure. I
You
thought
got
I was
it.
crazy for a hot second.
And here comes the hardest of the number 10.
Yeah.
There was a stories about something that happens in the video game that never does. There's still this rumor, it's a facade, that about the play of the game.
Okay.
There was a special code.
Got it.
What happens in this fake code that never existed in the game? What could you imaginatively do?
You could play Lara naked, supposedly. See, I asked
Wow.
Toby Gard, one of the creators of Lara Croft, about whether or not this is true, and he was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, he was like, it's absolutely not true. It's not like hot coffee in GTA.
Before we end, this is what you're plugging right now,
Right. This is Shadow of the Tomb Raider,
which just came out in September.
September 14th.
You're gonna remember that date for a while, aren't you?
Oh yeah. And the DLC, the new DLC, The Forge, just came out on November 10th or 13th. But that's available now on all platforms.
Yeah, Xbox, PS4, and all PC computers. And I also understand they have a Mac version too.
The Mac version is coming out. Feral Interactive is working on the port. So yeah, that's coming out soon.
Your improv group.
Room to Improv. You can find us at roomtoimprov.net, not .com.
And every first Friday, you
Yes.
can be seen at...
Every first Friday at the Secret Rose Theater in North Hollywood. It's on Magnolia.
11246 Magnolia Boulevard, North Hollywood. And every first Friday of the month, I should say that.
Yeah,
But you do
every
take a
first Friday of the
hiatus
month.
during the summer.
We do. So we follow the school year.
And you could also get more information about you at earlbaylon.com.
Yeah, earlbaylon.com. And you can find all my social links there. I'm in the process of standardizing all the social links, so
Are you going to update the website?
yes, I will also update that.
Okay. Because how long has it been since you updated it before the most recent update?
October.
Before that.
Oh, before that?
Yeah.
2013. I want to say it was 2 years.
Yeah.
2015 was when the last Tomb Raider came out.
You're absolutely right. And Earl, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
man.
meeting with
Thank you,
us.
Kyle.
Well, that is another episode of my vlog. Thank you guys all for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell all your friends about this amazing vlog you found. I can be reached on Instagram and Twitter at Kyle Isao. On Facebook, I can be discovered as Kyle Isao. And if you have a question, comment, anything you want to say to me, I can be emailed at askkyleaquestion@gmail.com. First, I want to thank Earl Baylon for allowing me to have the great conversation that we had. And then I would also like to send a personal get better to Wendy Liebman, national stand-up comedian goddess. Wendy was recently involved in an accident. I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but she may or may not have been on Ventura Boulevard at the time of the accident. She may or may not have been under a Cabernet Sauvignon drunken stupor at the time of the accident, and she may or may not have been filming her next 1-hour special, Wendy Liebman, my interpretive dance tribute to the video game Frogger. Nonetheless, Wendy, please feel better. I also have this message to pass out. On December 9th, 2002, a single burrito was able to feed the entire city of Chicago. As snow gently fell outside, everybody took a pinch of burrito, giving thanks, and passed it to every man, woman, and child, until everybody felt the warmth of this burrito miracle. This year we're celebrating Burrito Monday on December 10th. What does that mean? Maybe you need to stick to the next episode and maybe you just might find out. Until then, happy Burrito Monday, everybody. Shalom Aleichem. And till then, from Hollywood, that's a wrap.